the beginning, it is all up to you. 444, day 44 of waking up every day until I'm rich. We're gonna have ourselves a good day, stay positive, let's get to it. This is something that nobody told me, something that never was talked about in any of the videos I watched, any of the stuff I read about starting up a clothing brand. Today, I'm gonna drop some knowledge, I'll tell you. What is good, family? This is day 44 of waking up every day at 4 in the morning until I'm rich. This can apply to any business you want to create. If it is your own business, if you're going into it knowing that you are the founder, the starter, if you are doing things by yourself from the ground up, it is essential to implement outside resources and other people into your business, no matter what it is. But a lot of people have to start by themselves, do a lot of it to get off the ground, and when they have the resources and funds, then eventually be able to either hire people or work collaboratively with people on their business. And for me, this is my clothing brand. I started this about 2 years ago now, and these are 7 things that I had to learn and really pick up fast, because going into it, nobody told me this stuff. Now, these 7 things are crucial, and with a clothing brand, for my case at least, I think it is more important than other businesses I've tried. There is no one else to lean on. There is, you can always look at videos, but like I had said, I hadn't seen this in any other video. Now, with these 7 things, it will give you the groundwork, the frame of your business. It will allow you to progress and get to the place where you're able to hire people or work with people on delegating different tasks for your brand or your business. Now, I've tried to simplify these down to 7, and within each, there's a couple other points or things you need to know within it that also applies very directly. Now, number 1 for things that you need to know or your brand will fail, it is marketing. This one is a little bit more talked about in the community, I guess, in terms of clothing brands, but any business it's marketing, right? You can, have 5, 10, 15 customers in the beginning. You can get sales, and that's great. It feels good to get the money, to get the sales, to see that people are buying into your product or service. In order to separate yourself and make yourself grow, the big difference is customer retention, and that is SMS marketing, email, whatever way in your space. With my clothing brand, it's SMS marketing, email marketing, and there's a few other ways, but without retaining these customers, it's going to be a one-time purchase, which the big brands, the way to separate yourself is you're not looking for that quick, drop shipping type of energy where, you just get the one sale out of them and they're done. You want to keep these customers, because that, say, $50 you made off of them is going to be exponential if you retain them, you keep them in the loop, you let them know that more stuff is coming and that you're still around. So making sure you retain customers, making sure you have a very, very solid platform or system to obtain information, as in like email, phone numbers, whatever it is crucial to any business. And that will be a huge, huge step into taking the gap from ground level to then, building up to the sky. Now, number 2 is design. Now, this is obviously very in front of us, especially with the clothing brand. But with clothing brands, I would say you need to really look at design as a whole. So that is the elements, the laws of design, know how things work, know how things go and pair with each other, know the different types of, mixtures you can do to create a cohesive piece. Generally, adding on to this, it is graphic design. So by yourself, when you are starting this up, you're not going to have a contracted graphic designer. You're not going to have someone to put together these flyers or these posts to make your whole entire social media profile look very, very cohesive, very, very flush, aesthetic. You have to match your whole account to your vibe. And if you see some stupid, just typed on letters with a dumb font, no one's going to take your brand serious, no matter what it is. So graphic design as a whole, whether that's for clothing brands or anything else, it's huge. So before you have the money and the resources to outsource this stuff, which I highly suggest doing it first, because your appearance online is what people will judge you off of. So no matter what business you're in the get-go, sure, do it by yourself. But once you have a little bit of money, go on the cheap sites, go on like Fiverr or whatever. It's very, very cheap there. Not that great a quality. I don't think I've had one good experience on Fiverr. But in the beginning, it's something that's going to separate you from the person typing it on their phone, or someone who doesn't have Photoshop and doesn't know how to use it. Pay a little bit of money, Get the posts. The brand cohesion and the brand aesthetic is the most important. That's what makes people really see you as something serious rather than just another product that is posting on Instagram. So take your time, learn about design, take notes, really learn what goes with what you can do, what you can't. Obviously break boundaries. That's what it's all about, and having fun, being creative. But without these skills, these tools that you can use from people who study this, you're not going to be able to compete anywhere near with the people who have these paid consultants and designers that are, world renowned. So graphic design and design is number 2. Number 3 is going to be accounting. And I say this lightly because you're not going to have to be doing half as much as a real accountant, but just knowing where your money is, knowing what you're spending, knowing the cost of your goods, knowing the profits, knowing exactly, the start to the finish, point A, B, and C. Keeping track of this is very, very, very important. And you have to take into account the risk for a lot of other things, right? So, for instance, say there's shipping that you didn't see on a bulk order for your clothing brand. That can easily be, $500 to $1,000 depending on the size. So take these little things into account. Always, always, always plan for the worst case scenario. If you do that, you'll have enough set aside. You won't be just stuck in a rut and not be able to move forward. I always start off my drops by listing out every single thing I might need to spend money on. That goes from samples, product bulk, marketing, photo shoots, video shoots, editing, posts. There's a wide variety of them, but take all these into account and make a list, know how much you're spending, and make sure that on the back end, when you're getting this back and people are hopefully buying, that you're able to at least compensate in the beginning. Obviously, the goal is to make profit, but if you were really taking the time, being concise, really taking the time and effort to make this as perfect as you can, then you're going to want to spend the money on photo shoots, editing, stuff like that to really build your brand and make yourself professional. So have a log, always know what costs what you're spending, and make sure that on the back end you plan for the worst case scenario. And don't forget about those little fees either. So Shopify, whatever you use, they will take cuts. Know how much shipping will be, know how much you're charging for shipping if you are, and just do the math. Make sure you list everything down and make sure you're good so you're not stuck. Number 4 is content creation and social media. So similar to the first point I was making about marketing, you're gonna need to know how to make simple videos at least. Obviously, it's not ideal, especially in the beginning, to have these professional video and photo shoots all the time. So you're gonna have to learn to use what you can work with and what you have available for you. So your phone, probably the easiest, best thing you can do. Learn the settings, know how to put it in HD, 4K, whatever the video photo thing is. Learn the little stuff, know how to make a very cohesive website, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, make everything align. Best way to do this, simplest way, find 2 to 3 different brands that directly, your direct competitors, right? So find people that directly align with your brand who makes possibly similar products, but more so the brand image. So the thing that they are promoting, the story that they're telling, find the most similar brands that are similar to yours or businesses, whatever it may be. Find those, look at their accounts, take notes. Now, the way I do it is I find 5 good things and 5 things that I like about it. So whether that's color theme, message, video, whatever it is, you take those 5 things and then you take 5 things that are pain points, right? So the easiest way to do that is you look through the comments of their biggest reels or their biggest TikToks. You see what people don't like about the brand. Now, this will help you in many other ways than just content, but if you take those 5 and 5, and you can constantly look back at these accounts and see the way that they set up their social media in a professional way, you can not copy it, but make sure that the pillars, I'd say, align when you're posting. It does take time to learn the algorithms and to really know how to attract viewers while maintaining your brand voice and promoting your product. Especially with clothing brands, I would say it's a lot harder to, promote your product as well as make things that are viral. But I do have some good experience in marketing, social media, and growing accounts. So I can do another video on that as well. But the main thing is just take the time, figure it out. If you're first starting, just do it. You know, like I said, find your direct competitors, find people who are very similar to your brand, and basically copy their content. You know, just find the format that works the best, and make sure it's not their promotion or they're not putting money into the posts, but figure it out. Try 3 templates per week, your 3 different video styles per week. Post very, very consistently. Always post consistently, because the algorithm loves that stuff. So do those 3 different templates. Whatever one pops off, go with that for a while. But there's many ways to do it. My main thing is just find the ones that are most similar to you and take inspiration, follow their lead, and make your own path. Now, number 5 is customer relations. Now, this also goes very, very closely with B2B relations, so business to business. Obviously, if you have a clothing brand, you probably know about sourcing, manufacturers. If this is any other business, you know, it can be whatever your good product service. It could be, you know, shirts for work, whatever. You're gonna have to work with other businesses to support yours. And that's a lot less in the beginning of starting a business or brand. And you're not gonna have to deal with half as many people, but in the beginning, you're gonna have to, you know, you're gonna have to make bags for your clothing. You have to find sourcing for your clothing, how to relate and to talk to these people and to do business in an efficient way for the both of you is very, very imperative. With customer relations, this is also huge, and it also goes into the social media part that I was talking about right before this, because with social media, the algorithm rewards you for more time spent on your content, right? So that means if someone takes the time and types a comment on your video or your photo, the algorithm sees that. They say, oh, this person is spending more time on our app because of your content. That means if you respond to all these comments in an intriguing way, not just an emoji, that they will spend more time responding back. On top of that, they feel like they are part of the brand, part of the community. So engaging with all these people, making sure that they all feel like they're somebody, not just a customer that you're trying to, you know, sell off your product to, is very, very important. On top of that, with orders, this is like a huge one, right? No one is going to come back to you and buy if they say, oh, how long is shipping? Or, oh, I bought my product a week ago when I haven't gotten the shipping numbers yet. If they're not getting a response and you say, oh, it's okay, I'll ship it out tomorrow and they'll figure it out. It's not showing good, you know, relations. It's not giving a good impression. You want to basically leave that customer with the best impression of your brand and your service that you can once you know, are done with them. Once they've bought their product for whatever time period it is. So whether they've bought or not, you treat every single person like they are part of your community. You make them feel important, included, and they will always love that. They will always remember that, because there's a ton of brands that, you know, especially the big ones. This is what separates the little guys from the big guys, is the big guys, they can't respond to all these comments. They can't be personable with every single person, and they feel like, oh, you know, it's a cool brand. They have a lot of good stuff. I really relate with the vision and the purpose of the brand, but you know, I just feel like I'm just buying from them. I'm not like part of something. That's where you can step ahead. That's where you can gain the advantage and be able to say, you know what, these people are part of it, and you're not just another person or number or sale to meet. You are, you know, an active part of the community or world we're building. This is one of those things where once you get a little bit higher up and you can start outsourcing it, it is a game changer, because if you have somebody constantly running your DMs, you know, website sales in terms of like questions or whatever, comments, all of that, that is such a great load off your back, because a lot of people are better at it than us. And that's why when you get bigger, you need to start outsourcing, growing your things, because one person cannot be the best at everything. You need to get people who are better than you at certain things and let them do their work, and it makes your job easier. Now, number 6 is branding. This might seem like a very obvious one, but I will tell you that branding is probably the number 1 most important thing you need to learn. You need to learn what a brand voice is. You need to know what image, what message, what experience, what journey you are portraying and you are sending the customer through. This really applies with any business there is. Most importantly, I'd say with clothing brands, because there's a billion different clothing brands. But say you're a roofer, right? You do roofing. There's a billion different roofing brands too. And the thing is that if you're not portraying something that is different, that is more important, saying, why would I go with you rather than the big guy, or rather than the guy who lives right down the street I've been going to for the past 20 years. If you're not giving them that, okay, you know what, when I go with these people, I know that it's a safe, secure feeling I'm gonna get. if I buy from this brand, I know that I'm gonna have this experience and join this community that I feel important in. So learn what your brand voice is. Really do your research on this, I'd say. This is crucial. Learn what that is, write it all down, make sure that you are portraying that image every single time you talk or you post or you do anything related to your brand. Another huge one that goes right along with that is your ICA, so your ideal customer avatar. When you have your brand message, your voice, you are going to have to find your ideal customer avatar and your target audience, right? You need to be able to find and create in your head an ideal customer avatar. So you make this person from the ground up. This is, okay, so my brand is for this guy named Nick, right? And Nick is going to be a 26-year-old car salesman. He's gonna do XYZ in his time off. He watches this on YouTube, that on TikTok. He spends about 3 hours on his phone. Go super in depth. Look these things up, do them, write them out, make sure you have this all listed out. And for one, it's gonna help you target the right audience every single time. And for two, when you start consulting people and saying, you know what, I need some marketing help, or I need some help with my graphic design and my posting or some design, you are going to be able to send these things to that person or whoever it is. And when they get to see this, they say, okay, you know what, I know exactly what to make this service or product for you in order to hit the right audience and to do the right things, that it's exactly aligned with your brand. If you do these correctly, you can send them out and there will be no confusion as to what you are looking for, and it makes your job so much easier, as well as hitting the right target audience every single time and hopefully boosting sales. Now, this is going to bring me down to point and skill number 7, which is market research. Now, we've talked about this in a few of the other points and skills, but this, I would say, is what you're going to want to do first. Maybe right after your branding portion, right after that, you're going to want to look at your market research. And that's going to be research on your direct competitors. That's going to be the people who align with what you want to align with similarly, make similar products, and, you know, the bigger guys, I'd say. So you're going to want to look at those, do your research, see who they target, see where you're going to stand out, and it's going to help you narrow down your niche, figure out your niches, right? You have to figure out who exactly you're hitting, which is why the ICA is very important. On top of all this, you're going to have to look at trends, right? So trends, you cannot make a building block or a frame for your brand. Trends come and go. It's great to catch them while they're there, but if you are just simply someone who goes with trends, you make a piece of clothing that is trendy at the time, or a service or product, you're gonna make a quick dollar, sure, but there is zero longevity in that. Waves come and go, and you're gonna catch it and be done by the next season. But learning these things, being aware, and being able to capitalize off them when you can, it's a great skill, and you're gonna need to do that in order to see what the general population is doing in a time. So do your research on your demographic, your target audience, your niche. Really know exactly what they're looking for, know how to hit that and hit all their pain points, and emphasize all the good things that they like about your other competitors in the same field. And now for clothing brands, I'd say this is probably the hardest thing, which is a little bonus skill, number 8. It is doing all of this while progressing your products and your actual design and your vision to the future. Now, this also does go with every other brand, because everyone has to do this. You have to keep up with all this stuff, as well as look at, okay, what's the future looking for? Like, what am I doing after this next drop, this next season, this next job? So right now, I'm like 4 or 5 seasons ahead. I'm looking at, season 5 and 6 soon, when I am about to drop season 2. So being ahead while keeping everything grounded in the present, as well as looking in the past. But with the past, you just have to really look at it in terms of what I could have done better. Always be analytical, always be critical with yourself in the right ways, but looking forward and constantly improving yourself, your mind, your skill, your talent, whatever it is, constantly improving it, working towards the future, as well as getting all of this stuff done and sufficient in the present. It is a lot to do, I'm not gonna lie, but without these things, you're not gonna be able to start up from ground zero and make your way up. Now, after watching this, I would definitely advise against going right out and just boom, 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 like learning everything at once. Take your time, really do your background, like, you know, set the framework so that in the future you're going to have a good amount of stuff, and you're not going to just be like, okay, well, you know, I have some notes on this and that, and I really dove deep into this. Take your time, do your research, fill out the stuff, write the stuff down. You know, it's very important and it will last you forever. So I can show you, for instance, like right here, I have a notebook with all of these tabs in it, right? And these are all different things that I have taken notes on. These are all things that will help me in the future, and they still do. And I have about 3 of those. So take the time, learn your craft, know what you're getting yourself into, and avoid making these mistakes like me. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Those were 7 things that you're gonna have to do for your clothing brand before you even start it, because if without them, you know, there's no way you can even get off the ground. Those 7 skills that I had to learn the hard way that you need to know before starting a clothing brand. Let me know if I missed any of them, and I'm more than happy to go more in depth into some of these. Like I said, I have like books worth of notes, so I can always dive deeper into some of these topics. I'll probably do a separate video on social media and content and stuff like that for brands, as I've done pretty well with that, as well as helped a bunch of other people that I know. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I helped at least one person out there. I'll catch you guys in the next one.